Say hey everyone, a little bit of a different intro today. We had to do a little back end stuff, so that'll be all fixed tomorrow, I think. Actually, it won't be because the horse streaming guys will be going, but that does not matter. Say hey everyone, welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Alongside me is Connor Mac Picks. Joins me every Friday. Connor, excited to talk about this card with you. I think it's a sparse card for me here today. I don't have much. I've got two plays that I'm looking at really. We'll talk about them when we get there, but it's going to be a good day of baseball. I think some good matchups, new series, et cetera, et cetera. How's everything in your world going?
It's going good. I had the under in that Cubs game. I was shocked it was 9.5 with those pitchers on the mound. So I'm glad there. And I think there's a few spots to get at today here. So let's get it.
Okay, let's get it
Let's
indeed.
get
Let's
it.
talk about these first matchup. We appreciate Justin, Bo, Brian, Watson, Rocco, all you guys for joining us. Justin, we'll talk about the Stacks pod when we get there. But shout out to him. Pirates team total there. Oh, actually, beautiful. It's our first game. Pirates team total over 3.5 starts our good day off. Stacks pod. Shout out to Justin there. Chris Bassett versus Rich Hill. And I have mixed emotions with Chris Bassett. I don't know exactly how to treat him. I thought it was a little washed up at the beginning of the year. Comes out, pitcher's okay, and then it comes out last night or last time out, I should say. 5 innings, 2 hits, 4 runs against the Seattle Mariners. He just never really a back pitcher for me, especially because the Blue Jays just got mopped by the Red Sox, 4-game sweep there. I don't want this scuffling Blue Jays squad right now, especially at a minus 165 price on the road. So yeah, it's Pirates or pass for me. Even if it's Rich Hill, Dick Mountain on the mound. The Blue Jays have been fine against lefties, so it's not like they've been crushing them. So Dick has a chance here, but I've got nothing on this one to start off here, Connor. How do you about you?
Me too. But I think you're right. I think this is the Pirates here at home. Both teams, coming off getting swept. And the Jays, we'll get to your Red Sox. It seems like going into Fenway has been tough for them at times the last few years, but man, pitching not good, not able to score enough runs. So shout out to your Red Sox, Jose, which I was a rare few. Well, I know you just bet on because you love them, but I thought they could get over their win total. I think we talked about that. I think, and I still think they hit because they don't have the pitching in the end, but I still think they could maybe be a 500 team, maybe even a little bit better. But Jays, yeah, you mentioned it, are struggling. When I thought though these teams, I just couldn't. I want the under, but I can't do it with Bassett and Hill. It just seems kind of a flat spot. Uh, both teams off, getting swept like I mentioned. I just can't do it. Do the Jays come to play? I don't think so, but I think this plus price with the Pirates is the way to look. I wanted to double check here. The Jays lineup it is out now. Okay, yeah, it's out. Um, yeah, a ton of these guys have killed for me lately. One guy's looking at. There's a few guys that have hit him well. I mean, Kirk, small sample size. Springer was one I circled here. 4 for 12, the double and a homer. Is over 1.5 plus 120, or is Jack's 500. Whether it's him, really Boba Chapman, a little bit of Guerrero have just been money for me in the props all year long. So maybe look that way against Dick Mountain. And what are we gonna get from Bassett? I'm not so sure. So man, I was close with the Pirates. I get that them plus money or nothing here. This could be a little swoon, and we saw this last year with the Jays, how they struggled in spurts, where they could lose like 8, 9 out of 10, and then they could get hot. So they're sitting at 18-14, lost the last 4. So Pirates are nothing here.
Yeah, agreed. A little bit of wind, by the way, in this game. Blowing in 6, 7 miles an hour wind and the wind dies down at the end of the game. 5 mile an hour, 7 to start the game. So do with that what you will. So, all right, let's move on here. Another game, White Sox Reds game here. The White Sox are just poverty franchise. Poverty franchise. I bet on them against my best judgments yesterday. And I had a couple heartbreakers yesterday that was really
That
annoying.
was
I had
Tough.
Rays -1.5. They win 3-2, obviously, in classic fashion. I had the White Sox yesterday. They had 2 chances to walk it off. They just simply refuse. And then they get fucking shit pumped in the top of the inning. So at least I didn't even have to watch it anymore. But uh, honestly, maybe I'm a little bitter and biased here towards the White Sox, but it's Reds are past for me. The Reds suck at hitting. I understand Lance Lynn's coming off of a pretty okay start for his pedigree, I guess. I don't know. 6 innings, 3 hits, 4 runs, not great, but whatever you can get from Lance Lynn nowadays is what you're getting. So I passed this game. I lean first 5 under 2. Like I just said, both these offenses aren't hitting at all. 29th and 28th against righties last 2 weeks, 64 and 68 weighted runs created plus. Winds blowing in as well. So yeah, it feels like an under game for me here, Connor. What do you think?
Yeah, that's what I wrote. There's 9s. There's some 8.5s. I think if you like it, grab the 9. But I have a problem trusting these pitchers, Jose. I'm sure you've heard me talk about it before. Lance Lynn, you just went through. It's not the same guy. Most of his starts. I mean, he's going 5 or 6, but he's giving up 4. But can the Reds hit? That's the problem. And the White Sox on the flip side, they scored some runs a little bit lately. The biggest, I guess, was that 7 runs in the ninth when they beat the Rays a little while ago. But I don't trust their sticks here. And Hunter Green, though, is this seems like a spot where it's he's going to pitch great, but he's pitched great the last 3. And I've been on the wrong side of him a little bit this year, and he's got the shit. So I leaned it under strong. I wrote this down under. And the problem is I go with the Reds. You're going to bet the Reds -120. I mean, no way. No freaking way. But if you need action, I'd look that way. I think Lance Lynn could give up a few. So I'd look that way with the Reds.
Agreed. Reds are nothing for me here. Let's move on. Next game, Rays Yankees. A great matchup on paper, except it's the last place ball club against the first place ball club. I mean, what can you do about that?
You love saying that, right, Jose? Last place Yankees.
Connor, I'm here for the factual statements here. There's facts only on this program, and they're a last place club. What can we say? They're last place against the first place Rays here. Yanni Chirinos getting the start, probably opening was my assumption for Josh Fleming's, but I have not seen Fleming listed anywhere, so we might just get some Yanni Chirinos in our lives here. We'll see how it goes for him. There we go. I had a sneeze out there. Thank you. Had another one.
Double dip.
Yeah, here we go. So he's pitched 4-3 innings, et cetera, this year. But Yanni Chirinos is not a guy that inspires confidence. Johnny Brito, a guy that doesn't inspire confidence either. But it's been like my auto play for the Rays at home, really. Just Rays -1. Get out of there. Do whatever. I had to take the -1.5 because of the juice, obviously, in the Pirates series. Screwed me once. Cash really easy one time. It's -133 here. Probably be one of my juiced plays of the year. But I like Rays -1 here yet again. So what do you think here, Connor?
Yeah, I mean, you think of the Yankees maybe at this price is enticing, but I'm a little above a backer, Chirinos. I mean, he's going to go 3 or 4. That's probably it. But he's been one of their best middle relievers all year long, and I think that's the way to look here. Brito, I don't know what we get from him. I think you go with the Rays. Their team total is 4.5, is -125. Obviously, you got to pay some stuff here. But this is a rivalry. I'm sure the Yankees are going to be up for it. Man, I just couldn't take them. I want this plus money with them. Rays have just been hot. I'm ready to jump when they're going to get cold a little bit. Maybe they are the best team in the American League and obviously this division. But, yeah, it was a game I just stayed off. Man, I just couldn't take the Yanks with a starter on the hill.
Yeah, I'm not going to move on it either, I guess. Still too juiced. Hopefully when a better Yankees pitcher gets up there, we can get a better price on the Rays is kind of what I'm thinking here.
Yeah, can this be sneaky under? Do you guys pitch? This was a little bit tough, but Rays, and even when the Rays last few years, they're 500 team at times. They've been good. Went to the World Series a few years ago. They play the Yankees tough, and now they're huge favorites though. Obviously with their record, so it's just tough to bet them. You got to look like you said, the -1, maybe the team total, but you got to get 5 runs here, -120.
Yeah, it's tough. So I passed on the game. I'll be watching, seeing how the Rays do against the last place ball club. Red Sox, Phillies, next game up, and it seems like everyone and their moms is on the over, Connor. I mean, I like it too.
Me too.
This was my play that I looked at. I was like, over ball here. But I was pretty shocked to see it as an 8. Zach Wheeler pitches better at home. Red Sox, I guess, traveling to Philadelphia, whatever, disrupt their rhythm. They've been on fire recently. Second in baseball against righties, 140 weighted runs created plus. Full season, they're 4th. The Phillies aren't hitting lefties. 22nd in the last 2 weeks, 77. Full season, 22nd to 89. So I want to move on this over here, Connor, and I think I am. But like I said, it just feels like everyone's on this over with us here.
I know it scares the shit out of me. It seems like Red Sox, though, the best over team in baseball, 23-10. They're hanging an 8. It's not even 8.5 or 9, and it is on these names. But we've seen this. Wheeler's, I think, the deal here. Like Sale, we've seen these 8s with him starting, and they just go over. He gets hit. The Red Sox seem to get some runs, and I think they can do that here. I know Wheeler's at home. But I could only look. It seems like this is a good spot for the Phillies, but like you said, haven't hit well, especially lately, and they're down to 250. Their batting average against lefties. So I thought there's runs as well, but I think the Red Sox, I think you take them here at this plus price. I know the problem is with Sale, and you're going against Wheeler, but I lean them pretty heavy, Red Sox, at this price. And I think I'm going to be on this 8. The over. I could get stuck here and rock, but that was my luck.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Connor. You talked me into it. It didn't take much of convincing, but I'll be on Red Sox money line plus 145, and I'll move on the over 8 at -115. Concerning. If it's an under game, I hope the Red Sox can come out with their bats that have just been better than the Phillies recently, but we'll see.
And we always see this is like Wheeler's on the mound. I think Sale, he's looked a bit better his last few starts. Like you talked about, 2 of the 3. He gave up the 5 to the Orioles, but 1 earned to Cleveland and then 1 to Minnesota in between there. But yeah, I think there's some runs here. Red Sox have just been money for me with these overs. It's tough to go against it.
Yeah, and Justin's saying the same thing that I'm thinking right now. I was going to bet the over, but not one person in the world has said the under, so it worries me.
Yeah, and when you get this isn't a crazy travel bad spot.
Exactly.
Just Red Sox, but it's just new series. Wheeler just seems like it could be sleepy, maybe early, and it is only 1-0 through 5. So yeah, hey,
all
there's
right.
me too.
I scratched off the over. I'll just stick with Red Sox money line plus 145. We'll just ride that money line, and it's like I said, I like the over too, but just a little worried, a little safe there, I guess.
Yeah, real quick, it does Wheeler. His last start was good against the Astros, but he's been a guy. He's been crazy sharp. He's looked decent some of his starts, but I haven't been impressed either. I think he gets going though as the year goes on, but Red Sox sticks. It just seems though after the 4 games, they just all those runs versus the Jays, this is fucking a 2-run game, 3-2. Exactly. So it does. Yes.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm a little worried there, but they got the numbers. I'll take the Red Sox. Let's ride on that one. Next game, a shit game that I really don't want to talk about even a little bit, Connor Mack. Rockies, Mets. Antonio Senzatella making his return from the IL off a knee injury. He got fucking dominated in his last AAA start. 3 innings, 8 hits, 9 runs, 6 of them earned. His first rehab start was 3 1/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run. My justification of the second start for him is the second time he faced the same team. It was a back-to-back start for him. maybe he's just kind of working shit out and they just knew what was coming. I don't know, but I want nothing to do with this game. 10 points higher for the fucking, I said 10 cents higher, I should say, for the Mets. Maybe I'd be on the Rockies here, but I don't trust it. I wouldn't trust Kodai Senga either. 2 runs in his last time out, but that was against the Nationals, so whatever. 5-8 or 4 against the Giants, 4 against Oakland. A little concerning. I still think he's a good pitcher, but a little concerning. So I pass this game pretty easily.
This is just like the best probably spot, but the price shows it for the Mets. You know what I mean? We haven't gotten Senzatella. He's activated here off the injury list, and he got rocked. Against Round Rock, he had 6 runs. To me, if you don't mind the Mets, their team total, I think this is over too. We know the Rockies, who were playing bad baseball, kind of on the road at home, get home. Brewers sweep their ass. We'll get to them later. But now they hit the road here, which I don't love. But Senga, this maybe is a get right for him, but he hasn't looked right at home. Right, the walks are there. His strikeouts are okay, but I haven't been impressed with him. In some of these Mets, Marte 7 for 11, a double and a homer, and he's been struggling this year. A guy who at least his average is okay. He's only at 228, but I think his over 1.5 plus 120, maybe his jack at 800 is a look. And Pete Alonso, 4 for 9. He doesn't have a homer here off Senzatella, but if you can get over, I had plus 450. I think that and higher, we get some of these guys like Muncy. When I get them lower than 4-1, I don't love, but I think Alonso there. You got to look at his jack maybe tonight. I think Mets score some runs here. So look at their team total and even the game over here.
Yeah, I could see a lot of runs here scored by the Mets. This might be just a shit kicking by the Mets, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, and maybe the Rockies get some off Senga. That's why I think look at the game over, but I think Senzatella, this is not good. I'm like, obviously he's a pro pitcher, 10 years, whatever, veteran, and he could pitch well. But I think he could get rocked around here with some guys that have ripped him.
Agreed. ASDF, shout out to you, my man. Thanks for watching. If Ohtani was on the Red Sox, I would fucking cry every single day. Minnesota Twins versus the Cleveland Guardians. Bailey Ober, Peyton Battenfield. Just a classic AL Central matchup that I really wanted nothing to do with, honestly. This is a really good matchup just for seeding, or I guess standings wise. The Twins, your first place squad. The Guardians, the team that's supposed to finish in first. So it's going to be a big series in that aspect. The Twins have to make some kind of response here because they've been kind of playing like shit recently, and I'll be interested to see how they come back here. Bailey Ober is good, but it seems like every time he comes out here, it's always at a minus 240, minus 260 price. Now you get him at a minus 120. I'm like, wow, okay, maybe, but Guardians are good. I'd lean Twins here, but I don't like going against the Guardians in any sense. So pass game for me, unfortunately, here as well.
Yeah, this is a pass for me. Bailey over. I mean, as Babano would call him, Bailey over, as he used to be, give a ton of runs, but he's decent. He's kind of settled in. And his first 2 starts, though, not a great offenses in the Nats and the Royals, but he got through it. 1 run in both those starts. What do we get from Battenfield? I'm not so sure. I think this is Guardians owned their ass last year with these Twins. I know the Twins collapsed a little bit and were just horrible the second half, but I think this is a Guardians or pass for me, especially if you can get them plus 105 right around there. I like the under. I just don't trust the pitchers. I can't. So with this total.
Agreed. It seems like whenever these two teams play, it's like under ball too. It's just maybe me just imagining shit, but it always feels like a 3-2, like 1-0 kind of ball game between these squads for some reason. Yeah. Next game on our slate, an interesting matchup in the interleague. I'm fascinated to watch this one. The Baltimore Orioles, who are fucking legit, man. If you look at their record after they promoted Adley Rutschman, their winning percentage is like a 5.89, like almost a 60 win percentage since then. I'm just like, wow. So what are we going to do with this guy? So shout out to the Orioles. I mean, respect. They keep developing pitching too, because they've got Dean Kramer going out there throwing 5 earned runs and 4 earned runs last 2 appearances. But he can go out there against the shitty Nationals teams and go 6 2/3, 4 hits, no earned runs too. So I really think Dean Kramer is one of those guys that dominates against the worst teams in baseball, the bad teams in baseball. And as I say that, his last appearance was against the Tigers. So I never, at no points do I really feel comfortable backing Dean Kramer, honestly. If I'm betting anything in this game, because obviously the Braves are a little bit too juiced to bet, it's a team total for the Orioles here. They're ninth against lefties, 120 to 1 weighted runs created plus in the last 2 weeks. So, but Max Fried's been phenomenal. Just hasn't given up on a run in his last 3 starts. So, what are we going to do here, Connor?
Yeah, I bet this already. I took the Braves team total over 4.5. I got a minus 120 early. If I think as long as you get under 130, I don't trust Dean on the road here. That was an over yesterday that I thought was clear as day, and I didn't bet it. 13-10 or whatever the final score was with Baltimore. You mentioned they've had success, and throughout the last few years, success against lefties. I don't know, but some of these guys, they haven't as of late. Max Fried's been really, really good. So there could be some runs, and this gets over. But I just went with the Braves, who've just been hitting. So I took their team total over here, 4.5. If you can it's tough to give out there's not a lot of books that still give out first 5 totals, like for everyone. I mean, people that should have a book, try to find one. But if you can get the Braves even over 2.5 team total first 5, that'd be a looker.
And I'm muted too. Good job. Good start there. Out of way, Dabby Cab there for me. But the Braves offense against righties is just a little scary for me to back, but I still think they're the best offense in baseball, honestly. So yeah, not a bad.
I don't trust Dean. I mean, he seems like he's going to give up 3 at least, right?
Yeah.
He's pitched well. I backed him at times. Hey, Orioles are 21-10.
Yeah, they're phenomenal. One of the best teams in baseball. We can't, like I said, they're doing such a good job developing pitching. It's sick. They just keep finding good pitchers. So shout out to the Baltimore Orioles. Let's move on to the Battle of the Bums. And I'm in this game, Connor. I finally have a play. I'm on the Royals -1 at -119 here.
Really?
Yeah, I think the Royals, I don't. First of all, when I broke down this game and I saw the pitchers, I was like, what are we going to get? Like -110 each way? These guys both suck. These offenses suck. Just throw it -110. No, they believe in Brad Keller. They have faith in Brad Keller, these bookmakers. 5 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run at Minnesota last time out. He's pitched He's pitched well all year, He's had 1 or 2 kind of jumbled starts. 1 in Arizona, 4 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs. I just ultimately think that the Royals are a better team than the A's. And the big factor here that pushed me over here, the Royals last 2.5 weeks, whatever you want to call it, against lefties, they're 6th best in baseball, 126 weighted runs created plus. Kyle Muller has lost every game he's started since opening day. He won the opening day start, and we'll never forget that opening day start was against Shohei Ohtani. So very funny there, but it seems like a Royals -1, -119 for a spot for me. I'll go ahead and make that official.
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. Both these guys, Mueller, you mentioned, the walks have been killer. On the flip side, Keller's been able to get out of it. In a team like the A's, Jose, maybe that continues to work. I don't know how he keeps walking 5, 6 guys, and he's going to get out of shit. But I can't take the Royals. There's just no way at this price, and maybe I wish you luck because I look the flip side. And the A's aren't very good either. 2 bums here, but I take the plus money with them.
I've got the -1 at -118. So we'll see. It's maybe not my best pick ever, but I like Brad Keller. I think this offense can get some runs off of Muller. And I like them being the home team, even though the Royals are like 1 in fucking all of April or whatever at home.
Yeah. So. Hey, A's, just their pitching is about an over team, and this total's moved up. You know what I mean? It keeps kind of climbing from 9 where it opened to 10, which I think there's probably runs, but does it get over? That's the key here.
All right, beautiful. That was a good cap of a shitty.
Someone who just wrote that in the chat. I don't see 7.5s, but I'm only looking like 15 books right now or so.
Where are you
With that
looking?
Red Sox game.
Let us know what book you have and see
Yeah.
if those odds are dropping. I looked at Bovada just now and it had 8 as well. Next, Tigers, St. Louis Cardinals. Another bum fight because the St. Louis Cardinals are horrible. The Tigers have a better record than the St. Louis Cardinals. And I need to double check and see if this line is right because I don't fucking believe it. There's no way, right? Yeah, this line obviously on the screen is wrong. It's minus 220 for the Cardinals, excuse me, plus 180 for the Tigers. Total at 8 right there, just a straight 8. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to say back the Cardinals here, but the Tigers against lefties, and I've mentioned this, I think the Tigers against lefties are going to have value. I mean, I think we talked about this too, Connor. Second last 2.5 weeks, 166 weighted runs created plus.
Bingo.
It's only 91 plate appearances, but it's still a sample size we'll use here. I like Jordan Montgomery, honestly, and I've backed him at several points, but his last 2 starts, 1-0 loss, 4-0 loss, and he's not pitched poorly in either one. So I like Montgomery here. The only reason why I'm not on the Tigers in some form or fashion is because I think he can be a good pitcher. But I passed here. And obviously Matt Boyd against the Cardinals is a lefty. That's just cruel and unusual punishment by AJ Hinch. So I passed this game. I definitely lean towards Tigers team total, Tigers first 5 team total, maybe even an over in general in this game, since we both think these offenses can get to them.
Yeah, damn, that's crazy, Justin. The 7.5, because even bookmaker still is at 8.5. Oof, it's tempting. Maybe it drops more. I'll keep my eye on that game. I think I'm gonna be off. Fuck, Red Sox Phillies games had on my mind all day long. You mentioned it here. You know, this Cardinal team. Holy shit, Jose, they're digging
been so bad.
So bad. They're digging a hole that man, I don't know if they can.
This team's not making the playoffs. I've decided, and this is Carlos Marmol's last season as the Cardinals manager too.
I think he might have to go if this continues, even by the break. I mean, do they let him go all the way? Who knows? You know, franchise like the Cardinals, maybe they do, or they're going to wait. You know, they've made some crazy pushes the last few years, you know, to get the wild card playoffs.
That's why I'm like, you know, maybe they won't fire him mid-season. And like you mentioned, the Cardinals are one of those like historic franchises that always tries to do everything like so respectfully, et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, Carlos Marmol already had that thing with Tyler O'Neill early in the season, like just calling him out publicly. So, yeah, I think that act's just getting a little tired. So I passed this game pretty easily. Connor, you pass as well?
No, I think there's value there. I think Justin just put it. I think you look at the Tigers. You mentioned the last couple of weeks they were slow out the gates, but we mentioned how well they hit lefties. I think you got to look at their team total, 3.5 at that plus 120. I even think first 5 here, plus 190. How can you not? This Cardinal team's lost 10 of 11, and they hit lefties well. They're hitting 280, Jose, and they've lost whatever 10 in a row or whatever it is. How horrible the Cardinals have been. And they have the guys in the lineup, so I think they start winning some games. But you mentioned how bad the starting pitching's been. Both teams just hit lefties. You mentioned the full game. I kind of lean that way, but I got to take a stab here with the Tigers. First 5, you know, right around plus 190, and I don't mind the team total too. Plus 120.
I'm shocked to see the prices for the team totals. 3 at minus 110 for the Tigers and just minus 110 for the over 1.5 first 5.
Yeah, I'd like that. I mean, that's a good stab, you know, the first 5.
So keep an eye on that. I'm going to move on it, and I'm not going to feel the absolute best about it, but I'm going to take full game over 3 there, minus 110.
All right.
I understand the cap was against lefties, but I like Jordan Montgomery. I think he's a good pitcher, and the Cardinals' bullpen has just not been good this year.
No, and look, they took, you know, they got to Ohtani, that whole thing, and then they just gave it up. The bullpen's been bad, and it's like they're 10 and 22. You know, at some point, the urgency is getting quick. But you're right, Montgomery, and they think he's gonna pitch well here. And his last few starts have been pretty good. I'm gonna trust the Tigers to scratch them. Can we get at least the first five, get a couple like you mentioned? Um, so yeah, Tigers first five and that team total.
Oh, beautiful. Tiger spots for both of us. Team total over 3, -110. Tigers there for Connor, like he just mentioned. Only a few more games on the card. We appreciate all you guys for watching. Hit the like button while you guys are here. We appreciate it. I specifically do. Justin, Lucius, Nathan Cerna, Rocco, all you guys, thank you. Let's talk Diamondbacks Nationals here. And typically on Josiah Gray days, I'm on the Nationals. But I'm gonna stay off here. I think it's just better for him if I stay off betting him, Connor, because I bet him almost every start this year.
He's
Fuck
been good on the road though,
yeah.
Gray.
Hey, well, he's
Yeah,
been fine everywhere. Really, he got touched up one spot. I forgot where it is now, but he's been fine, and he
the
just
Braves
of
opening
course,
day, really.
of course, and
Yeah.
then just never run support, just never gets it. And then, of course, I stopped betting him the last 2 games. The fucking runs come from the fucking stupid Nationals. I'm off here. I lean Nationals. I like Merle Kelly as well. Arizona Diamondbacks numbers against righties: eighth, 115. Sorry, fifth, 118 weighted runs created plus last 2.5 weeks. So I think they're hitting the ball well against righties. Josiah Gray, I like him a lot, but maybe this is a start. He gets touched up a little bit and he can increase value to his next start. Who knows?
Yeah, how about the Nats? Took the last three from the Cubs. They're not going to outslug teams, but this is Arizona, and you think like maybe there's runs in this one, and it's smooth. But like if these pitchers are on, Merrill Kelly's walked a ton so far this year. We know Gray, that's his problem as well that I've had, but he's been good on the road too. I love this Diamondbacks team. I've talked about it since the beginning, but there's no way at this price I could look at them. I think you got to look at the Nats. It's tough to take after winning 3 in a row. You go all the way here to Arizona, they could get their ass whipped. So I want to lean to the under and the Nats, but it's just a lean.
Leans there for both of us. Lean towards the Nationals there, but nothing for us. Great game. Here we go. Second best rivalry in baseball. Dodgers, Padres. Kershaw, Darvish. The dogs are out for both these teams. -115, -105. I thought the Dodgers would be favored by a little more, shockingly enough. But respect. Great series. First matchup since the playoffs last year. First matchup since the Padres won anything against the Dodgers ever. Kershaw on the bump coming off of a phenomenal performance last time out. I believe it was against the Cardinals. I'll turn my page here. 7 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs. Of course, I was on the Cardinals that day. Kershaw, just what can we say about him? He's the pitcher of our generation. Darvish is also really good. If you want a first 5 under here, I wouldn't necessarily hate it. But I passed because the Dodgers against righties, 130 weighted runs created plus last 2.5 weeks. That's 4th best in the season. Full season, they're 2nd best, 126. Lefties, they suck at hitting, apparently. Just lefties. But the righties, they kill. So I'm interested to see how this game plays out, especially this series. Darvish coming off of a kind of a shaky start, 6 innings, 9 hits, 4 earned runs. But it's a big game here. Both these pitchers pitch well against each opposition as well. I looked up Kershaw's just splits against the Padres for shits and giggles, and obviously he's the old elder statesman, so he's been against the Padres forever. I think his record was 23-9. I was like, oh my god, Kershaw was just eating on these bad Padres team, just fucking dominating them. But shout out to Clayton Kershaw, just very funny shit there. But what do you think here, Connor Mack? A big matchup here, especially in your neck of the woods over there.
The more I thought of this, I'm looking at the Dodgers because I thought the price would be a little bigger too, like you mentioned. It seems like the perfect under, and these lineups can go both. These lineups are both good. Padres, all that stuff, and Darvish's last start in Mexico, which he settled down. I mean, he gave up 4. He went through 6. The under went way under there, Jose. 12 run. We talked about on Sunday. Kershaw's been really good. Both these pitchers, they don't hit for average. Obviously, home runs galore. So this is where you want to look at the jacks, even if it's a solo. Kershaw's classic case of could be really good, but he'll give up the dinger. But I think you got to look at the Dodgers, red hot. How can you not? Here at this price, to me, it's the Dodgers. And the more and more I think of it, Dodgers scored a ton of runs, the last few days against the Phillies. I always look at the Dodgers when they score 13 or more a ton. They'll be like a 1-run game, but I think this might be it. And we know the place will be buzzing, jam packed, and the place is half Dodger fans, anyways. There in San Diego, it's just true. So no offense to Padres fans out there, it's just the truth. So yeah, I lean Dodgers and the under. I'd love an 8. Obviously, we don't have that, but I'd look that way. And we'll go to the props. Freddie Freeman, 8 for 25, 3 homers. I think he's the good look tonight. You can get places 550 or higher for his jack or his 1.5 bases plus 120. Muncie's good, 7 for 25. A bunch of guys. How about Peralta? We have to wait for the lineups. 10 for 26 with 3 homers off Darvish. On the flip side, Machado. Obviously, we've known his homers against Kershaw, even Tatis. Those will be the best prices, but maybe look at that here. Even though I don't think a ton of runs, that's where it comes from. It seems like here.
Machado, home runs. Yeah, I get it.
I love Freddie tonight too. I'm on it.
I'm gonna be interested to see the crowd makeup today too, Connor, because this is the Padres like year, I guess we'll call it, whatever. This is the Padres like they're finally like competing with the Dodgers, et cetera, et cetera. We saw like their opening day fan fest. They've sold out a shitload of games this year. Is it going to be still going to be 80% Dodgers fans? Let's find out together. It'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch this game for sure. A good late night special here.
I think Dodgers are remembering their ass whooping, which the Padres did, in the playoffs. I think
with Kershaw on the bump too. It feels like he'll go out there and be like, I remember these motherfuckers knocking us out of the playoffs last year. Let's go shove it up their ass. He goes out there, sets the tone. The lineup kind of follows. That definitely does have that kind of feel in this game.
Just because it's a division game, I don't know about going crazy, but if you do like the Dodgers, it's so cheap, go this way, -1.5 or 1. I know this could be tied and maybe just like a 3-2, 4-3 game, but I think there's value here with them. And I like to fade them. Hey, I'm a fan, but we bet. This is what I do. So I'll fade them whenever I can, the Dodgers. But I think just price-wise, you got to look there.
Agreed. Let's move on. Second to last game on our card. And by the way, thank you for mentioning Yu Darvish. Last game was in Mexico, so I'll be interested to see how he adjusts after that game as well. Houston, Seattle, another great matchup in division here. But the Seattle Mariners, they're falling behind. Connor, and me and Jimmy talked about this early in the year, like a week after the season started. It was like Seattle Mariners to make the playoffs, even money. And we were like, wow. Even money, that's so cheap, et cetera, et cetera. But there's just so many fucking teams in the American League all fighting for 3 spots. And it's tough. Like I was very confident in them making the playoffs like 2 weeks ago. And now they're 15-16, and they're on a 4-game winning streak too. So this is the best played.
Yep.
But still, it's like you've got, because let's be honest, the Astros are probably going to win that division. The Rangers are at 18-12. The Angels are at 18-14. You've got to deal with those 2 teams on top of the loser of the AL Central, whether that be the Twins or the Guardians. I think the Twins win the division. I think the Guardians are plenty good to be a playoff team, and the whole fucking AL East. Everyone in the AL East is in contention as well. So it's tough. I really think that the Seattle Mariners might already be fucked, and their only hope might be to win this goddamn division, and they need these games against the Astros because they're right ahead of them. They're the boogeyman. They've got their ace on the mound at home. Do I want to back them here? No, not really. But they need it. They need these games.
They do. And you mentioned them winning 4 in a row. I could not. I thought, and I've been high on this team, But I think it was crazy. I put it on the radio, everything else. I would have been under their 88 wins, the Mariners. And I know a lot of people like the over. I just didn't see it as young as man. And maybe they do. Hopefully, they get hot. But I think this is Astros at this price. I know they haven't been great either. It's early. This is still real early. They're 16 and 15. Yeah, and this total. How about sevens across the board? And some of the sharper books, we got 6.5s, whether it's Bookmaker or the Westgate. This is dropped to 6.5. This is low scoring, but at this price, especially first five, just put in there. I think this is a value bet here. You look at the Astros. I just don't want to back Seattle. Even with Castillo on the bump, both these pitchers have been good. They've been good against these teams in the past, but this is Astros or nothing here.
Glad we can feel the same way. By the way, I skipped a game. I skipped Rangers Angels. So we'll talk about Rangers Angels real quick. Thank you, the Gas Report, for reminding me there, for pointing it out to you, pointing it at me. I'm sorry. Dane Dunning making his is not debut, obviously, because he's been in the majors, but he's making a starting rotation debut. They needed someone to fill DeGrom's spot. Enter Dane Dunning, and Dane has been okay. To pretty good this year. His last two starts were the only two starts, or last two appearances, I should say, were the only two appearances he gave up runs. It was 6 straight appearances with 0 runs for Dane Dunning, so I was pretty impressed. Do I want to back him here? No. Both these offenses are pretty potent, though, so I could see an over. And Tyler Anderson, again, I'll say this every time he pitches, too, the most obvious regression candidate in the league right there, going from the Dodgers to the Angels. So, I don't know. He pitched well against the Brewers, but the Brewers can't hit lefties, so it's not anything to be happy about. So, an over lean there, obviously, but I don't think I'm going to have anything on this game.
Me too. I didn't have anything either. Now we get Dane Dunning, who's been just great, outstanding, phenomenal, all those fucking words we want to throw out. As a middle relief guy, as Dane Dunning. Now he's got to start. He's probably going to start a few, 2 or 3 games here coming up. I think he's been in the perfect role there. He's going 2-3 innings. I don't trust him to start, and he can look good. And he's always had problems for me on the road. So it's tough. Rangers, though, slapping the ball. One thing, though, they just hitting righties. I know maybe they've been a little better against lefties, but for the full year, they haven't been great. And they have guys some mash. I'm still waiting on their lineup. So, yeah, I was off. I kind of leaned over, too, but I didn't want it.
Yeah, I'm glad we're on the same page there on the over at the very least. Over leans there for everyone.
It seems like they could get to Dunning. The Angels have played well. It took them a little bit. I thought the road trip was good for them. When's the skid coming?
Yep.
It's just been when's the injuries coming? So maybe you still get on them now, while they're playing good baseball. Because this has happened the last 5 years where, they've come out pretty good. And by the time we hit June or July, man, they'll lose 14 out of 17 or some bullshit like that. And it's just over.
Yeah, especially after last year. Last year, they really hooked everyone in last year to thinking they were going to be good, and then just nothing. Nothing again. I think the same thing's going to happen this year, and they're going to be idiotic, not trade Ohtani, and then they're just going to keep fucking themselves and their fans. So, shout out to the Angels. Last game on our card, Milwaukee Brewers, San Francisco Giants. Quite frankly, I was pretty shocked at the price for the Brewers here. Especially for a Corbin Burns start, but he just has not really been that guy all that much this year. Last start was a 1 earned run in 6 innings against the Angels, so it's a good start there. You take that every time. But the Brewers' bats are just so bad against lefties. They've been last all year against lefties, last in the last 2 weeks, 66 and 58 weighted runs created plus. Sean Manaea obviously coming off the Mexico game, so I kind of just tossed his last start out the window, I'm not going to particularly worry about him getting crushed against the Padres there. So if I'm taking anything, I think it's the Giants. Maybe if you want to take an over here in this game, I guess an under, just because I think that Manaea dices up the Brewers offense. So first 5 under, perhaps. in a Giants
Yeah.
look, but I really didn't have anything on this game either. I don't trust Corbin Burns. I don't trust the Brewers lineup, and the Giants are always just sketchy for me to bet on, I think.
Yeah, I want the under too. Mania, he's been a problem for me and trust. It's like you just mentioned that first five under. Burns, we know what he could get, but he's shut down this Giants team. Mania's pitched, well against these Brewers, and you mentioned how bad they are against lefties. Every time he takes the mound, Jose, there's walks, and it seems like it's like he gives up two for sure, two or three. I'm just like that
Yep.
under. I'm like, I know the pen for the Brewers is pretty good, maybe full game. And like I mentioned, Burns last year shut down these Giants. Giants do hit righties better, and the Brewers just got their ass swept. That loss last night was
Yeah,
just
I had the -1.
oh fuck, that was backbreaking. I
Yeah.
mean, 4-5 and lose 9-6 to the Rockies, a game they needed, and now you go to San Francisco, shit spot. They need a great start from Corbin Burns. So I'm leaning under, and yeah, this is Giants or nothing for me here. Brewers though need a kind of a big win, but I don't know if they're smashing. Manaea's the guy they haven't hit great, and I don't know if they do here. So I haven't bet this, but I'm looking at it.
Yeah, again, Connor, just a reminder to everyone, I had the White Sox, I had the Rays, and I had the Brewers yesterday.
Oh
It's just
shit.
three back-breaking losses yesterday, but it feels like the ball is going to start bouncing our way here soon. And we're going to recap our plays here, and let's get those fucking bounces going our way, Connor, because we need them. A sap.
Hell yeah.
Red Sox money line +145, running these hot socks. Connor convinced me of it. It took him holding me over a barrel, some shot therapy, but I'm on it. So yeah, I'm on Red Sox full game money line. And my only other play is Tigers team total over 3. Oh, and the Royals. I forgot about them too. Tigers team total over 3 -110, and Kansas City Royals full game -1 -118. So 3 plays here for me there. Red Sox, Tigers, Royals, shit teams, I guess, but we're betting on them.
Shout out to the chat. Hit the like button if you guys haven't. Sweaty Butcher, good to see you. Fox, Rick J, Rocco as always, Justin, Nathan Cerna, everyone here. I saw Rim Most. Where you at, my man? This guy's in comment. Munch, I haven't seen him in a minute. Preston, what up, my man? Shout out Bo Jackson up in here. Jake Burns, RVD 420, Gerald Jones, Nunya, Carlos Garcia. Hell yeah, Jose. All right, I took the Braves. Their team total over 4.5, -120. I don't trust Dean. I think they get to him there. Dodgers, I took them -108. I got to back Kershaw there. I'm looking at the under. I haven't pulled the trigger there. Tigers, this kind of split for me. I'm taking the first 5, +196. I got, and their team total 3.5, +120. And I also just threw the Astros. I'm taking them plus first 5 here. Just too much value here. I just got +120. I got to take it with them. And that is it. The props I wanted to mention. I'm going to stay off the Red Sox game, the over and them, even though I think they get it done. Jose, you're red hot Red Sox. I mentioned Alonso. You get anything. I just got +450. If you can find higher, that'd be good. Take that and take his over 1.5, +130. I think that's a good look. And kind of those small ones, Marte, 7 for 11. Can he get something done? Power hasn't been there as average. His 1.5 +125 is Jack's +800. We mentioned there's only a few others, but I took Freddie. We talked about Freddie Freeman, +120 is over 1.5, and his Jack +575, 8 for 25 with 3 bombs. I had to take my Jacks. Just been insane. I've hit like 8 out of 9. Well, I've had small these last like 5 or 6 days where I just have a guy or two, and they've all cashed. So I've had some crazy runs, but I think lately it's been the craziest.
Hey, let's ride this run, Connor Mack. I thank you for joining me as you do every Friday, my man. Where can the people find you? You gonna go bet some horses right now?
I'm ready for the ponies, my man. The count is loaded, ready to rock. I'm ready for the next couple days. So
beautiful,
dirty baby.
Yes, Connor is going to be on the horse racing stream. It's live right now on Pub Sports Radio. There have been live for fucking like 7 hours right now, I'm sure by now at this point. So they're cooking, they're doing their thing. Shout out to them. And I was there for a little bit. They were making a hell of money. They were cashing in big time. So Connor Mack, go enjoy the pleasures of betting horses as well.
Real quick, I haven't bet that. It's tough. I think the Mets roll. As I mentioned, those guys. I think it gets over 8. So if you kind of want to bet, I haven't bet it, but that was close for me here. I kind of got a lot of bets rolling today.
A lean there for Rockies Metropolitans. Connor Mack
Yeah.
again, thank you. Rick J. Lucius, Real Deal, Rocco Damon, Preston, Nathan, Browns, Hughes, all you guys, Rick J., the Sweaty Butcher joined us. Shout out to you, my guy. The Gas Report, thank you for calling that out. Jake Burrs, Gerald Jones, all you guys, we appreciate you guys. Nunya, let's go watch some ponies together. Lads, thanks everyone for supporting. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys again tomorrow for another morning edition of Say Hey Plays. Debbie Cab joins me. I'm going out tonight, so it's going to be a long night, and I am not
hitting the town, huh?
Second night in a row, Connor. I am a beleaguered man. I'm a beleaguered man. So yeah, it's gonna be tough. But we appreciate everyone as always. Thanks everyone. Say hey to us on social media, and we'll see you guys next time.